Isang magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Ngayon po ay July 29, 2022, Friday. And it is the last working day of the month. No? Sa Monday po ay panibagong month na po. At pamanhin niyo po ako. Ako po ay merong sinisipon po ako. Ngunit tuloy-tuloy pa rin tayo sa ating pagbabahagi ng ating the stock market today. Ang ating balita ay tungkol sa MERALCO at ating Philippine stock market in relation dun po sa pag-increase ng interest rate ng Fed. Ano? If this is your first time in this channel, ako po si Benji Chadoro, isang retired bank officer na nagsimula mag-invest sa Philippine stock market noong 2007. And I do this report every day. At I also report yung latest news tungkol sa inyong paborito at pinaka-aktibong stocks. If you like the content, niimbitahan ko po kayo mag-subscribe sa aking channel. Kung meron po kayong stocks na gusto ipa-review, paki-comment sa comment box at aking ipa-prioritize. Get well soon to my cousin Mary. We're praying for your recovery at ganun din si Tito Sam sa pag-aalaga sa kanya. Huwag kayong alis dahil babahagi ko sa inyo ang ating financial headlines at ang resulta ng trading sa ating PSE ngayong araw. Month end, July 29, 2022, dito lamang sa the stock market today. Okay. So, ang ating financial headlines ay galing sa ating BDO Securities. BSP readies measures to tame rising inflation. Significant China slowdown may hurt Philippine credit rating. WLCON earnings jumped 51.6% year-on-year in first half 2022. Ito po yung binalita natin yesterday, no? Office demand recovering, residential market to benefit from RTO. Return to work on site. Yan pala yung RTO. So most companies nagre-require na sila to return to work kasi most of the REITs ay BPO po nag-occupy niyan eh. Anyway, so maganda po yung return to work order niyan at ma-occupy na rin po yung mga office spaces. MEG launches third residential project in Pampanga. And China Bank net income up 39% year-on-year to 10.1 billion in the first half of 2022. So yan po ang ating mga headlines. But before we go to the headlines, or before we go, let me share with you muna ito, no? Yan. Ito po yung one of the news items that I saw earlier. Metro Pacific boosts stake in Meralco. Actually, lumabas po ito sa disclosure ng PSE, siguro mga after lunch. But lumabas po sa balita ito just siguro a few minutes ago. Metro Pacific Investment Corp on Friday said it acquired more shares in Manila Electric Company or Meralco. MPIC said it acquired an additional 22.542 million shares, equivalent to approximately 2% of Meralco's issued outstanding capital stock for 344 per share. Mamaya po, tingnan po natin ang nangyari kay Meralco. And ito po ay, ang total value po niyan ay 7.754 billion pesos. The transaction will result to MPIC or Metro Pacific holding approximately 47.5% direct and indirect interest in Meralco, MPIC said in a disclosure to the stock exchange. In a separate disclosure, JG Summit said the board approved the overnight block trade for the sale of 36 million common shares of Meralco. So, si JG Summit pala ang nagbenta at si Metro Pacific ang bumili, no? Pero dito 22.542 So baka meron pang ibang bumili dito, no? Kasi JG Summit sold 36 million shares, 22.542 lamang ang binili ni Metro Pacific. Okay, so let's now go to, balik po natin yung, so ang ating main news ay galing po sa PhilStar. Stocks advance on less hawkish US Fed stance. So yung 75 basis points lumalabas na less hawkish pa pala yun. No? Sa atin kasi very hawkish na yun eh. Pagka sinabi po natin hawkish, kasi yung hawk flies very very high. So mataas yung expectation or mataas yung rates. Pagka sinabi mong dovish, yung dove, mababa po ang lipad. Kaya low lang yung interest rates. Okay, so yan po yung mga terms na ginagamit sa finance or sa news items. Okay, stocks rose for the third consecutive session yesterday to finish at a nearly 2-week high at less hawkish than feared messaging from the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell allayed fears over the pace of US rate hikes. The benchmark PSEI ended at 6379.26. So yun po yung ating news yesterday, no? AB Capital Securities said the Philippine index followed the US and emerging markets higher after the US Central Bank raised policy rates by another 75 basis points to ease inflationary pressures. The total value turnover reached 4.7 billion. Powell sounded suitably hawkish on curbing inflation in his news conference, but also dropped guidance on the size of the next rate hike and noted that at some point it should be appropriate to slow down. As the US pushes ahead with its steepest interest rate hikes in a generation, investors are unusually poised to buy in Asia's emerging markets, betting authorities can tame inflation without triggering capital flight chaos of previous cycles. But with markets still unsure of the potential next steps of the Fed, more clarity is needed before Asian shares sees lasting respite, particularly as fears that more aggressive hikes might tip the US economy into a recession. Yan po ang ating main news. So kaya pala tumaas because the expectation of the market is that 75 basis points, well, they were expecting a rate hike greater than 75 basis points. O mga 100 yan, 1% or more. No? Pero ang naging decision ng Fed was just 75 basis points. Pero sa atin po, 75 basis points ay napakataas na po. Okay, so natuwa yung market doon dahil better than expected or lower than expected yung interest rates hike ng US. Okay, so let's now go to the Philippine Stock Exchange Index. Oh, but before we get to that, let me read some comments here, no? Okay, meron dito, sabi ni Isip Raman, DFNN may news na nag-present si Starlink sa board nila. Oh, DFNN ba is an internet company? So possibly, no? Possibly kaya tumaas si DFNN. And then another one, itong si Isip Roman, marami itong chismis na nakukuha tayo. Well, chismis in a sense na nasasagap niya, no? Just like when you're in the floor of the stock exchange, meron kang naririnig na kung ano-anong news at napipick up po yan ng market. Another from Isip Roman, sir, thoughts on URC? Kaka-report lang ng earnings niya. Okay, so tingnan po natin si URC. Tingnan po natin kung anong nangyari sa index ngayong araw. Alright. The PSEI lost 63.33 points, no? Probably profit-taking po ito. At knee-jerk reaction yung yesterday, no? Yung increase niya, no? Was 2.28%. So ngayon, nag-profit-taking po siya, but if you will observe, yung ating EMA20 is still under the candlestick. So sa short term, ito po ay bullish but medium and long term pababa po ang ating index. So nasa gitna lang po ang ating RSI, whereas yesterday nasa 54, above the midpoint. Yung ating market activity, 116 companies declined, 74 advanced while 50 remained unchanged. The all-share index declined by 0.76%. Yung ating sectoral indices, dalawa po yung nag-register ng positive result, 0.39% for financials, and services is 0.63%. The rest is down, no? Holding companies lost 2.38%. Industrials, mining, and properties are also down. So now let's review the most active stocks. So let's take a look at URC, WLCON. MER lost 7.1%. Then Ali, SMPH, and Converge. Tingnan natin si Converge. So malaki yung bagsak nila, no? And that contributed to the index losing 63 points. Okay, so URC po muna tayo. Yan, si URC nagkaroon, well, it ended almost flat, gaining 20 centavos lamang, pero sideways po ang kanyang movement, ano? So, tingnan natin yung earnings niya. Tingnan natin yung news item. Material transactions. Tingnan natin kung meron tayo makikita dito. Okay, so let's take a look at this, ano? Yan. Sige, tingnan po natin ang earnings ni URC. And this just came in today, no? I think just within the day, dumating po ito. The first half of 2022, URC grew net sales to 71.1 billion, up 23% versus the same period last year, with all business units showing double-digit growth. The company recorded 7.4 billion in operating income in the first half, up 2% versus the same period last year. Absolute profits were received as planned despite material cost increases and the strengthening of the US dollar. Net income ended 6.5 billion, lower versus the same period last year due to the gain in sale of idle assets in 2021. URC's financial position remains healthy with a cash balance of 13.3 billion. The company paid out 7.6 billion in dividends this April 29, an increase of almost 5% against 2021. So yan po yung press release ni URC which came out today, no? And so let's now take a look kung ano nangyari dito sa stock. I think it ended flat, ano? Yan. So it ended flat, so still moving sideways, although maganda naman ang fundamentals, no, ni URC. Kumikita naman. Tingnan natin si URC dito. URC, may buy rating si Video Securities at 145 or at 31% upside, more or less. 30.9 dito or 31% upside based on yesterday's prices. Okay. So yan po si URC and teka, hindi ko po pala nagagawa yung ang pinakamalapit na resistance ni URC, nandito po. Yan, nasa 114.60 ang pinaka-nearest resistance niya. While the support, pwede nating ilagay dito, nasa 107 po ang nearest support ni URC. So, yung RSI po niya nasa almost at the midpoint, 49.27, and it has been moving sideways since July 15. So nagle-level off lang po siya, no? Pero dito ay tumaas po siya sa June 28 dahil napakababa po. Umabot po yan ng 93 pesos o 93.25 ang pinakamababa po niya. Yan po si URC and it's moving sideways. Si WLCON naman, okay, nagkaroon siya ng breakout, ha? And maganda si WLCON, ha? from a bearish activity a week ago, ngayon po ay bullish na po siya. So, umabot po siya as low as 21 pesos. And then after that, ay slowly na po siyang umaakyat. Now, yesterday, nagkaroon po siya ng a breakout here. Hindi ko makita eh. Hindi naman siya breakout dahil kulang ng volume, but this time it's a breakout, no? So, yung previous, ito po yung support niya, resistance na naging support, nasa 24.22. And another resistance yesterday na naging support is at 26, no? Ngayon, ang next na tinitignan na resistance level, actually resistance level na po ito, no? Nandito po sa area to. Yan, sa 28 po, yung next resistance level ni WLCON at bullish na po ito, no? 8.86, no? Napakalaki nung akyat ni WLCON, at yung RSI po niya nasa 69 o sa 68.71, mag-overbought na po ito. At napakaganda po nung earnings niya ng second quarter ni WLCON, kaya po ganito ang nangyayari. At meron po siyang volume today, kaya masasabi po nating breakout po ito. Next, we have MER. Tingnan natin ang nangyayari kay MER. Meron po siyang block sale. Yan. Okay, kasi 344 po yung presyo eh. So, because of that block sale, ay bumagsak po yung presyo niya, no? Sa 340, and you'll notice here, meron po siyang gap down. Yan, meron siyang malaking gap down here. Yan po yung pinaka-gap down niya. So, that gap will have to be filled soon. So, from a sideways activity, well, sideways pa rin po ang kanyang movement. Only that, napakababa po ng kanyang presyo, nasa 340. And, ang guess ko lang po dito is that yung diferensya, kasi JG Summit sold so much eh, di ba? JG Summit sold so much, magkano ba binenta ni JG Summit na Meralco? In a block sale, 36 million. Pero, ang na-acquire lang ni Meralco is 22. So, that's about 14 or 13 million na unaccounted for, no? So, probably within Metro Pacific po ang bumili niyan, or with yung mga malalaking stockholders ni Meralco ang bumili, no? Para mapunan yung block sale na ito. Anyway, MPIC became a 47.5% direct and indirect interest sa Meralco, na napakalaki, one of the top dividend paying stocks in the index. Yeah, so moving sideways po siya, and the support is here 329, ano? And I see another support here nasa 340. Yan. But the resistance nandito po sa 372. So just moving sideways, at maganda po magbigay ng dividendo. 340 is already a good price. Yan. And then, si Ali napakababa din eh. Slowly moving up, oh. For all the level up lang siya with the short-term indicator, no? So, yung pinaka-support po ni Ali, let's draw a parallel channel. Like we've done in several days that we've been reviewing Ali. Yan po siya. So, the upper border is the EMA 50. Nasa 27 pesos po, more or less, ano? Kasi yung parallel channel na dinraw natin nasa 27.76. So, resistance is 27 to 28 pesos po, while the support is at 22 pesos, more or less. So, support and resistance, di po yan exact points. These are areas. So, maganda po si Ali na bumili. Tingnan natin ang Ayala Land, fundamentals niya 42 pesos or 68% upside. Next, SMPH. Alam niyo, you can play SMPH, ano? Kasi it has been moving sideways and yan po yung characteristic ng stock for quite some time already. no? So kung ifa-follow po ninyo at gagawa po tayo ng Darwas box, yan po yung pinaka movement niya, especially the resistance, no? Yan more or less ang pinaka movement niya, no? So yung upper border would form our resistance nasa 30,970 more or less, and the support is at 3366. So kung kukumputin nyo po, and even we can place another higher support here, no? The next higher support or the nearest support is 35. So kung bibili po kayo dito, or better yet dito kung umabot po dyan sa ganyan, ay nasa 3366 and 3968, kikita po kayo dyan. So if you will just play the support and resistance play on SMPH, kasi SMPH is an index stock which has the highest, one of the highest capitalizations in the PSE. So yan po ang aking prognosis or assessment on SMPH, moving sideways 48.46. Next, we have Converge. Naku, talaga mababa si Converge. So, tumaas lang siya ng konti dito. Nag-oversold siya dito. So, approaching oversold level na naman po. So, ang tagal ng consolidation niya, pababa. So, yung ating, siguro let's draw a wider parallel channel, no? So, yan po yung nakikita ko sa Converge, no? Yan, no? So, it's on a bird's eye view spanning March, April, May, June, July, 4 months. So, pababa po ang movement niya, no? And probably, it may still reach the support area of 16, and unless market sentiment reverses, no? So, approaching oversold at 32 na po yung RSI. So, yung pinaka-resistance po niya follows very near the EMA 100, nasa 25 po yung higher resistance niya, and the lower would be the EMA 50 at 22, no? Pero ang pinaka-support nasa 17 pesos po. So it's moving downwards pa si Converge at 19. In fact, the 52-week low of Converge is at 1824, no? Na na-reach niya sometime, matagal na ito, 2021 pa. Okay. So yan po si Converge moving downwards. Yan po ang ating report sa stock market. Ika-29 ng Hulyo, month end. Ito po si Benji Chatora nagpapaalala, an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Maraming salamat sa inyong pagsubaybay at hanggang sa muli. Happy weekend, stay safe, God bless, and bye for now.